say in my home state of Texas, howdy and welcome. My name is Scott Nance, and if you've found this video and found my channel, chances are you're probably interested in hearing other people's stories that have died and seen heaven or hell and come back to tell their story. I am one of those people. On August the 14th, 2019, I actually died. I had a full cardiac arrest, and I died. And flatline, no heartbeat, no breathing, no nothing. I was dead. And in fact, just minutes before the doctors were going to declare time of death, they shocked me one last time, and here I am. Anyways, I did a longer video. You can watch that. It tells kind of my whole experience. But one of the things that's been on my heart for quite a while is to create a series of shorter videos so that I could tunnel in and really just kind of focus on pieces, especially pieces of things that God has been showing me since I came back from my trip to heaven. So if you watch the other video, you already know some of this. But in my case, I died and I woke up. And when I woke up, I was in heaven. It was incredible. When I woke up, I was on a trail, and all of my living family, my wife, our children, grandchildren, a bunch of people who are really close to us, people who maybe I've impacted their lives or they've impacted mine. There was just a large group of people, and it was like we were on an outing. It was like we were just kind of out doing some sightseeing together. And when I became consciously aware, and I know I'm looking over here, I've got a book that I'm working on, and I'm trying to read a little bit of an excerpt of that so that I can stay focused. But when I became consciously aware of where I was, it just felt like we were on an outing, like we were on this hiking trail, and it was natural. I wasn't wondering how I got here or why I'm here or any of that. It was just, we were all there together. And there was this total feeling of overwhelming peace. It was just, there's no words that I can put it into other than maybe euphoric. And if you saw one of my other short videos, Oneness with God, because that's really the feeling that washed over me. But we were all together, a whole bunch of people who are still alive, and me, and we were walking, but we weren't really talking. We weren't really communicating, but yet we were communicating. And I wasn't thinking about it at the time, but since coming back, I've spent a lot of time trying to understand the dynamics of what was going on in that portion of the journey when we were all together, because at some point we got to a point where I had to go by myself and I had to leave them behind. But one of the things that God started showing me was that even though they're alive and I was dead, we were all together in the spirit. And I've kind of been praying and tunneling into that. We are created as spirit beings. We were created to walk in the spirit as much as we walk in the flesh, but we don't understand that as humans. My desk has a shape and a form, and I can reach out and touch it. And we as human beings, we have shapes and forms, and you can reach out and touch each other, hug each other, high five, whatever, because we're so used to the physical constraints of our lives. We're not as in tune or consciously aware of the spiritual aspect of our life. But we are created as spiritual beings. And in that moment when I woke up and we were all together, I was very aware of the connection in the spirit and in the spirit nature and the physical nature of who I am. I understood the distinction, but yet the relationship of those things. In this physical world that we live in, it's really as if things are out of balance. When I woke up in heaven, I was in the spirit. I was in the flesh. I was just like I am right now. Well, my hair wasn't quite as long. I had a big beard. Things were a little bit different. Lots happened. COVID. I haven't got my hair cut, but neither here nor there. We're spirit beings. But I never really understood that until my experience in heaven. We get more focused on the physical flesh than we do the spiritual nature of who we are, who we were created to be, and who we're destined to be as we walk out our lives. But in that moment, there was balance between them. And I felt that balance. There was this feeling of complete love and joy because I was aware of who I am in the spirit as much as I was aware of who I am in the flesh. We focus on our weight or all these different things when none of that matters. What matters is who we are on the inside, who we are as spirit beings. So I wanted to share a few quick scriptures before I wrap this up, but I really just wanted to kind of spend a little bit of time driving home the importance of our spirit and how we were created and even designed to learn how to connect with each other in the spirit as much as we were able to connect in the flesh. In Genesis 2:7, it says that God formed man out of the dirt from the ground, but then he blew into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became alive, a living spirit and a living soul. 1 Thessalonians 5, and by the way, most of these scriptures are going to be from the Message translation. Some of it may be from King James or New International. I like to bounce around quite a bit as I'm studying and researching. 1 Thessalonians 5:23 and 24. May God himself, the God who makes everything holy and whole, make you holy and whole, put you together. God put us together, spirit, soul, and body. Remember in Genesis it says, I'm going to create man in my image. In God's image we are created, spirit, soul, and body. But this verse in Thessalonians says, may God who created us make you holy and whole, and keep you fit for the coming of our Master Jesus Christ. The one who called you is completely dependable, and dependable meaning that he said he'll do it, he will do it. In Ecclesiastes 12:7, it says, life, lovely while it lasts, is soon over. Life as we know it, precious and beautiful, will end. And the body is put back into the same ground that it came out of. But the spirit returns to God who first breathed it. In Acts 17, verse 28, he says, for in him we live and move and have our being, as certainly also of your own poets have said, for we are also his offspring. What he's saying really there is that we were designed to walk in the Spirit. And because his Spirit is inside of us, as we move and as we have our being, it's all because of the Spirit that he created inside of us. James 2:26, the last verse I'm going to share. The very moment you separate body and spirit, you end up with a corpse. We are spirit beings. You cannot separate them. We think we can, or we don't. I don't know. I don't think we fully understand or process. So what I'm hoping is that as I share these different videos, you'll process and you'll ponder and you'll spend time in the quiet place. Because here's the deal. No matter what I tell you, no matter what I share, unless you spend time with God for yourself, unless you spend time talking with him, praying and asking him, you'll never get revelation. The revelation he gives me is for me. He wants to give you your own revelation, and he wants to teach you how to walk in the Spirit. Because I'm telling you folks, we're going into some crazy times right now. With COVID and all of the other stuff that's going on, COVID vaccine mandates and stuff, whether you believe in the vaccine or not. If you are, that's fine. I'm not against it, but I'm just saying, this is a crazy time. And I believe that God is going to rise up his church, which is inside of us. It's not a building. It's not a particular place of worship. It's inside of us. We are the church. We're created to be the church. But to really stand in the fullness of that and to walk out the fullness of that, we have to learn to walk in the Spirit. Because if we don't walk in the Spirit, we cannot fully be successful in reaching out and loving those that we come into contact with in the way that God created us to love them. Thanks. I hope you have a wonderful day or at night, whenever it is that you're watching this video. Hopefully you got something out of it. If you did, let me know. I'd love to hear back your thoughts, questions, whatever. This is a journey, and it's a journey for me too. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.